Yo, guys, Justin Jaynes with the 10-7 here. And man, what a heartbreaker in that co-main event. I'm talking about Pantoja versus Van. Had a lot of excitement coming into this fight. Pantoja on an incredible win streak, arguably one of the greatest flyweights of all time. Joshua Van, 24 years old, trying to become one of the youngest champions in the history of the UFC. And unfortunately, this bout was finished before it could get even started. They got in a grappling exchange. Pantoja tried to almost roll out of it. Unfortunately, getting injured in a freak accident. It looked like his elbow was dislocated. There's rumor that it was his shoulder and his elbow, that his shoulder dislocated. He had some ligament damage. We're not really entirely sure just yet. Pantoja went back to Brazil following this injury, and just to get evaluated for how serious the injury is. And I tell you what, guys, I really thought that this injury looked very serious. Congratulations to Josh Van. I know he's very excited being the youngest UFC champion, but I know that's not how Josh Van wanted to win this fight. I want to there's a quote from Pantoja here that I wanted to read to the viewers, seeing how he's doing moving forward. When I saw Joshua Van on the other side of the octagon, I believed I could finish him in the first round. That's what I tried to do. Best camp of my life, best weight cut, best everything. That's my octagon. That's my belt. That's everything I did in my life, the whole life to that moment. Joshua Van, that's his destiny to win the belt tonight. And I just can't win the belt and just can win the belt with my energy. I'm going to take my belt back again and talk about a warrior. Now, Josh Van, obviously getting up there in age, and to really understand the severity of this injury is what's going to play out. And looking at, Chat GPT, looking at Google, I want to share this. And this is what Chat GPT says, how it found the severity of the injury. And it's going to give us courses of Pantoja's work back too. So looking there, current injury type, the injury has been confirmed by Pantoja's team, left elbow injury, not a shoulder injury, as initially reported by the medical staff on site. Pantoja flew back to Brazil immediately after the fight to begin his recovery and will undergo further testing, including MRIs this week, to determine the full extent of his damage. Could be ligament damage, fractures, so on and so forth. Now, this is what I fear about potential recovery scenarios. Simple dislocation, which it did not look like a simple dislocation to me. It says most likely scenario. Again, didn't look like a simple dislocation to me. If it's dislocation without ligament damage, tears, or fractures, could be 3 to 6 weeks for initial healing with return to normal activities. I felt it was more severe. There's significant ligament damage, such as an ulnar collateral ligament or a UCL or a fracture. Surgery may be required that could extend his recovery up to 6 to 9 months or longer. UFC CEO Dana White stated that he expected Pantoja to be out for a while, but foresees the new champion Joshua Van to defend his belt against another challenger, such as Tatsuro, before Pantoja is ready to go. And I think that's the right call. Incredible featherweight fight earlier in there. There's a lot of great contenders. Joshua Van, incredible. And, honestly, I wonder if Pantoja, suffering such a crazy injury, can he and will he be able to come back and fight? Remember, Pantoja is old, really. Pantoja, he's not a spring chicken. And I think a lot of people forget that. Pantoja, has done some incredible things in the sport, but at his age, can he come back? I mean, he's 35 years old. Man, Josh Van, 24 years old, is going to have a bunch of more miles on him. Pantoja's been in some incredible fights. And if he does come back, is he going to get an immediate title fight? Now, let's say Josh Van tries to defend the belt, loses. Is Pantoja going to want to fight Josh Van for number one contendership? Because, again, he could be out for up to 9 months, perhaps a year, depending on surgery, depending on the recovery process. And, you just hate to see guys go out, put everything into the sport, arguably one of the greatest, then, kind of like hurt Josh Van a little bit too, if you think about it, because, Josh Van, although he won this fight, he's going to have an asterisk next to this fight. I'm really hoping that Pantoja comes back and he's able to feel 100%, get back to training and get back to fight for the belt, whether he wins or loses. I really want to see Van and Pantoja go at it again because, like I said, I know Van As happy he is with winning, I'm sure he's not happy with winning the way he did. But that's the sport, guys. I mean, freak accidents happen in training. Freak accidents happen in fights. And unfortunately, Pantoja, this was a freak accident. It's not like Joshua Van was whooping his ass and this happened. This happened in the first 30 seconds of the fight. Guys, I'm really hoping that it's not serious, that he's not going to need surgery, and Joshua Van can be in competition back within a year. And let's get this rematch. Let's get hyped for this rematch and see if Pantoja can dare to be great, lose his belt. And in my opinion, the hardest thing to do in all sports is to lose your belt, come back and reclaim it. Let's see if Joshua Van can do this. Do just that, guys. Tell me what you think in the comments. What do you think is next for Van and Pantoja going forward, guys?